Hi guys, and welcome to another Living with Long COVID video with me, Jade. Apologies for the delay. This video took a little longer than expected due to the amount of research that I wanted to do to make sure it was accurate. As always, this channel is about positivity and hope. Also, quick note, I've signed up to buy me a coffee, so if you want to support me, you can click the link below and you can just buy me my next coffee, which would be awesome. Today's video is what is long COVID? A few people have asked me recently, what's long COVID? And one girl had never even heard of the term long COVID. I was quite surprised, but glad that they asked, because whilst there are lots of videos on the medical side, there's a lot of fear mongering on news videos, it's actually quite hard to understand it unless you or someone close to you is experiencing it. This video will explain what long COVID is, it will give you insight into what it's like living with long COVID, and ask the question, why do we get it and not other people? For long COVID sufferers, or long haulers as we call ourselves, comment below if you've been asked, what is long COVID? And feel free to send this video to your friends and family the next time someone asks you. Also, do keep watching, as I think it's important for us to understand what it is that we are dealing with so that we can heal. Please note that I'm not a doctor, I'm sharing information I've gathered, but please do your own research using the links below. Okay, so what is long COVID? The WHO definition is the continuation or development of symptoms 3 months after the initial infection, with these symptoms lasting for at least 2 months with no other explanation. So if you've had illness or symptoms coming up since you've had a COVID-19 infection and you've had these symptoms for 5 months or more, then you are most likely suffering from long COVID. However, trying to actually describe it is hard, as it is kind of different for each of us, but almost all of us who have this illness are impaired in our daily lives. Most of us, including myself, we can't work. We have to reduce or completely stop socializing. We can't exercise like we did before, so I had to stop taekwondo, I've had to stop yoga classes, and we're often unable to eat and drink as we did before. But as people tell us, you look good. And for the most part, we look pretty normal. It's just our insides that are not functioning properly, because sadly, looking normal doesn't make us better. The illness will trigger a whole range of symptoms, and even those are unfortunately not consistent. So some days I'll feel pretty decent, like I could try and do more, and then perhaps a few days later I'll be in bed with pain from migraines, racked with muscle aches, feeling exhausted, in pain, and not able to sleep. So what are the symptoms? There are a huge number of symptoms, 203 of them according to a patient-led study published by The Lancet. The first one is breathlessness and lung damage. Of course, you've all heard of the long COVID patients, or the COVID patients who ended up in hospital with lung damage, and they have trouble just doing even minor tasks like unstacking the dishwasher. It's like they can't quite get their breath in. It's quite anxiety inducing. The next big one is fatigue. Fatigue is overwhelming. It's not just being tired. Some days I'll wake up feeling like I've been running all night. My body aches. I can barely make it out of the bed. Taking a shower seems really hard. Fatigue is when I can't walk 3 meters to the kitchen to get water. It's just too hard. Then the other one is headaches. This is quite a popular one. These can last a day, they can last hours, they can come back hours later. I've been getting them twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day since I started with long COVID. Some of them are mild and I can sort of grin and bear it, and others put me in bed for hours. And also that is with medication from a neurologist. Then there's the brain fog. So that's like looking at a simple email, which has happened to me, someone requesting a day to do lunch, and trying to figure out, what does it mean and how do I respond? It took me over an hour to actually respond. I couldn't quite compute the words. I couldn't quite understand what I wanted to say. it was really, really, really difficult. And the whole time in the back of my head, I kept thinking, this is really odd. Like, this is really weird. I've never had this experience in my life. There's also poor concentration that comes with brain fog. I've experienced having a conversation and me just not being able to take in what was being said. So it was like someone's talking in a foreign language to me. And there's also the forgetfulness, where you literally cannot remember what was said 5 minutes ago. You walk into a room, you were so focused on something and you can't even remember what you were focused on literally 10 seconds ago. So it's not just a case of age, it's actually quite severe forgetfulness. Then there's the dizziness. The world spins, you can't seem to write it even if you're lying down. And so many other symptoms such as chest pain, sleep problems, stomach problems, heart palpitations, overstimulated sight and sound, like I can't go to the cinema without putting in earphones. I can't watch bright lights. It just hurts my eyes, so I'm constantly wearing sunglasses. You have body aches, and of course the list goes on. The main thing is you cannot really make plans. Symptoms change from day to day, hour to hour, so planning anything, even for tomorrow, is difficult, as I have no idea how I'll be feeling even tonight. And that's the same for all sufferers of long COVID. Your symptoms can ebb and flow, and it is really difficult to manage that. But how do I know if I have it? Well, if you're watching this and you think you may have long COVID, unfortunately there is no test for long COVID. It's just if you suffer from the above, and after having had a COVID-19 infection and it's continued for more than 12 weeks, then you most likely have long COVID. So, why me? Why did I get long COVID and not, say, you or your friend? Well, there are some patterns emerging, but like the condition, it's not fully understood. Here are some of the major factors that doctors are seeing. So those hospitalized by an acute COVID infection, those with a high BMI, people who suffer from asthma, people in the 35 to 54-year-old age bracket seem to be more susceptible. Women, 50% more likely to develop long COVID than men, and there is a BBC study down there, and also I've got links to other resources. Plus there's a prevalence of type A personalities that seems to be emerging. So people who live extremely active, full-on lives, who are not good at slowing down or taking breaks. We're not quite sure why these people seem to be getting it more than others, but it definitely seems to be showing up in a lot of the data. There are also things that may predispose you to getting long COVID that are being investigated, like if you've had a previous episode of long-term fatigue after a virus, so post-viral fatigue syndrome, PVFS, or if you suffer from certain nervous system disorders, but this list is not definitive and you don't need to fit into it to suffer from long COVID. Scientists are still looking to understand this condition. But if you want to read more, I'm going to link a few really interesting videos and podcasts. Plus, I think you should definitely read this, the Long COVID Handbook. It's been super useful in making this video. It's also been super useful in understanding what I'm going through and what I'm suffering from a medical perspective, which is kind of difficult. So how many people suffer from this? Well, you'd think not many, but actually in the UK, estimates from the NHS are 2 million now. 17 million people across Europe, according to the WHO, 18 million in the US, and possibly up to 65 million estimated around the world. So if you are listening to this and you have long COVID, you are not alone. And there is hope. 1 billion in the US and 50 million pounds in the UK is being put towards finding cures for us. So in summary, long COVID isn't easily categorized or understood. The medical community is still learning about what it does, why it affects us all differently. People who suffer from long COVID are most usually, women aged between 35 and 54 who may also have had another nervous system or health issue. But this does not describe everyone. The impact of long COVID is severe and it affects everything in our lives. We're not alone. Millions of others out there are also affected, and research is finding new ways to manage the various symptoms. The best thing you can do if someone you know has long COVID is to be there for them with positive support and encouragement. A text to check in, a meme. It's crucial to helping us stay positive. Thank you so much. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe. Also, I've signed up to buy me a coffee. So if you like the videos, please buy me a coffee. See the link below. Stay positive, stay hopeful. Till next time.